Now, let's travel back to the summer of 1645, when the worst outbreak of the plague was ravaging Edinburgh. The city mourned the loss of its plague doctor John Pelicius, as thousands succumbed to the disease. At the peak, only 60 men remained to defend the city.
Overcrowding within the walls allowed the plague to spread rapidly, with fleas on rats transmitting the illness. Two deadly forms struck: pneumonic plague, which attacked the lungs causing horrific coughing and blackened skin, and bubonic plague, marked by painful boils that could swell to the size of oranges. Without treatment, these boils often proved fatal.
Those infected hung white sheets from their windows, signalling to the city's second plague doctor, George Ray, for help.
During the plague outbreaks in Edinburgh, particularly in the summer of 1645, bodies piled up rapidly due to the high death toll. To manage the overwhelming number of fatalities, authorities resorted to mass burials. Greyfriars Kirkyard became one of the primary sites for these burials, where bodies were hastily interred in mass graves, often without individual recognition. In addition to the kirkyard, the city's vaults were also used for this grim purpose. The dark, damp spaces beneath the city streets served as makeshift burial sites, where bodies were dumped in a desperate attempt to contain the spread of disease. These practices reflected the urgency and fear of the time, as communities struggled to cope with the devastation wrought by the plague.
The plague tore families apart and cast a dark shadow over the city, leaving behind a legacy of fear, loss, and haunting reminders of its absolute devastation.